All right, it's the game is a game. NFL live stream of consciousness. Thank you for rocking with me. Sorry I missed yesterday's episode. I bit my tongue pretty hard and kind of struggling a little bit to talk today as well, but we're gonna go ahead and get through it. There's some interesting stuff to talk about. First and foremost, Brian Flores joined Pittsburgh Steelers as defensive assistant and linebackers coach. When I saw this, I was kind of surprised. Not even a defensive coordinator position, but an assistant. Shout out to Mike Tomlin for giving him an opportunity. I thought when this lawsuit dropped that he wouldn't work in the league again, and I don't know if this makes it more or less likely that he gets a head coaching position. I would say more, because he's actually in the league still. I don't know. It's interesting because there was always to me the optics of Kaepernick, having that situation, taking a knee and never playing again the season after. And many people thought that, hey, that might just be the right way to leave the story. But I always thought like the optics of like, some guy fighting for something, getting banished and never playing again because of that, if anything, would discourage more people from speaking up for whatever issue they thought was right at the time. And I thought maybe the optics of Kaepernick playing again could show that you can speak up and, not lose everything, because that's a hard choice for people to make. Do I express myself or do I risk it all? Hard for people to go to a risk it all side. Not everybody is financially secured to go the risk it all route, but we'll see. We'll see. How does this affect his lawsuit? I don't know. It's going to be awkward every Steelers game, national TV. They are a national brand, so you're going to see his face. I'm sure the cameras are going to be on him almost every game, and they're going to bring it up. Or they might get instructed not to. NFL might put down the edict like, hey, no cameras on him, no talking about it. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting. And shout out once again to Mike Tomlin for offering him a position, and shout out to him for taking it, because I'm sure he probably thinks that doing this with his title and tenure previously is almost like a slap in the face, but good for him. NFL commish Goodell may ink an extension. I'm not one of those guys that hate Roger Goodell. I think he's actually doing the best he can given the situation that he's facing. He's a commissioner of a league with a lot of octogenarians, with his someone over 80 years old. I learned this word 2 days ago, but there's a couple of owners over 80. This is just really old school legacy, old money league. Majority of the owners are the sons of the original owner. They've done things a certain way. A lot of them, their only valuable asset is their team. These teams were worth, hundreds of millions of dollars, have now moved into the billions of dollars. And, he's just the one that is there taking the shots for the owners, taking the punches in the face for the owners. I think if he had it his way, Kaepernick would still be playing. I think if he had it his way, there would be more Black coaches hired. If he had it his way, there would be more Black owners. His dad is like a legendary judge, I believe. So, I think he comes from a legacy of like integrity, some sort of integrity. But yeah, I just think I'm not one of those guys that dislikes him. I think he's doing the best that he can. I think it's really a no-win situation, because at the end of the day, they'll fire him and just get someone else. They're paying him so much money. I think he's been paid. I don't think ESPN is going to report what he's been paid. Yeah, they're not going to report it. It came out that he's made over like a 6-year span, like $250 million. Like he made more than any NFL player. It wasn't close, by $100 million. So, I mean, he's getting paid, so good for him. Roger, you can throw some coins my way, some shillings my way. Uh, Titans, Dupree turns himself in for assault charge. That's not the one I wanted to talk about. The one I wanted to talk about is the Alvin Kamara one. Looks like that case is serious. Um, it looks like it's serious. And once again, that Saints job, it looks like that might be one of the biggest, like Titanic, we're about to hit the iceberg jobs of all time. You have a team with no cap, no quarterback, both offensive tackles free agent, Michael Thomas in disarray, and now your best offensive player, Kamara, might do a serious bid. It just seems it's going from bad to worse over there. So, and last thing I wanted to talk about is the NFL QB trade market. I think I've mentioned this before. I think there's going to be a big carousel of quarterbacks, starting with Deshaun Watson. I think he's going to be the first shoe to drop, whatever happens with his legal situation. If he's not facing, criminal charges, I think he's probably going to get traded pretty quickly. Wherever he does get traded to, will take that team off the board, and the other people who were vying for him in trades, I think will probably move quickly and aggressively to try to figure out their situation, especially because this year's draft doesn't seem like it has a strong QB class. But they always say that, and there's a Dak Prescott, there's a Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes. I didn't really hear about him until the Chiefs traded up for him, and a lot of people thought that they reached at that point. So, but it looks like there's going to be a carousel. And the guy I wanted to talk about today, there's two guys. First of all, Carson Wentz, man, life comes at you fast, boy. It just comes at you fast. Like Carson Wentz was a injury away from winning the MVP, and now the Colts are ready to cut him or trade him. And it looks like they're probably going to have to cut him. It doesn't look like they're going to get anyone that's going to pick up his salary. He's just said that he didn't engender any support in the locker room, wasn't really a leader. Regardless of what you care about the vaccination status, it took him off of the practice field when they were making a playoff run. He played terrible his last game, and it just seems like there's a stubbornness and an arrogance to him. He still thinks that he's living in that time when he's about to win the MVP, when times have completely changed. So I don't know if he gets another chance. He's a high draft pick. He's had glory, but it felt like that was a long, long time ago that he did that. He's played that well. So we'll see if someone picks him up. I'm guessing somebody will, just because of the talent, but hopefully he can get his mind right. It sounds like more than anything, his mind just isn't right, and there's a stubbornness to him, and I think he needs to humble himself a little bit. Another guy is Russell Wilson. Is Russell Wilson an elite quarterback anymore? I do this Raiders podcast, and they're saying that Russell Wilson to the Raiders. Why is Russell Wilson today better than Derek Carr? He just hasn't played that well recently. It seemed like ever since the Cardinals did this simulated blitz to him, where you act like you're blitzing and some guys drop and some guys still come, it's really messed with his mental. Someone pointed out that he's a shorter quarterback and he can't really see like that. So it takes away his ability to throw in breaking routes. So everything is deep, either quick slants or deep shots. And if you kind of take those away, the offense is kind of limited. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him if he gets traded, if he gets traded where to, because I don't think he's worth multiple first round picks anymore. But that's probably what Seattle's going to want. And if he goes back to Seattle, he's moving closer and closer to just becoming irrelevant. I'm going to do the who has a belt for the quarterback position, and he's not going to be in there. No way. So he's becoming irrelevant as more and more quarterbacks ascend. This guy who, players loved and, the media loved. I mean, it's just more and more apparent that he's just not one of them guys. So his offseason, I think, is going to be an interesting one, because I think a lot of teams would have paid prices to trade for him last year that I don't think you're going to get those prices. The price of the brick has gone down, not up. So sometimes you got to strike when the iron's hot. And that's the conservative nature of the NFL. Like, to me, it was obvious that the Seahawks weren't going anywhere, but no, we're not trading. We're not doing this. The Bears would have offered multiple first-round picks and a whole bunch of players to get him. ask yourself now, if you're the Seahawks, would you rather have Justin Fields and all those picks and all those players than Russell Wilson? I think the answer is clearly yes. But they're holding on to, oh, we won a Super Bowl with this guy, but you won a Super Bowl with this guy with a defense. Russell Wilson hasn't really shown you deep postseason runs with him being the focal point, the offense being the focal point. It was Legion of Boom. LOB was winning those Super Bowls. LOB was winning those conference NFC championships. LOB was having those battles with the Niners. He was there, but it was LOB that was leading the team. It's not LOB anymore. So, and since it hasn't been LOB, they've been OUT out of the playoff discussion. LOB, OUT. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. All right, go ahead and leave it here. The game is the game.
So what's up, man? What's up with you otherwise,
The game is a game.
Always.